Hi there, I'm Uncle Al, the trucker's pal. I'm with the Used Truck Organization, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the N13 and Diamond Renew. First of all though, in brief, you all know about the great ProStar cab here in the interior and the great visibility out of this. I'm going to spend a little more time. I'm going to go to the engine area. We hear a lot of noise out there about the Max Force versus the N13, that they're the same engine. So what I'd like to do is just highlight some areas that it is not the same engine and give you some ideas on some selling points. So I'm going to walk over here, I'm going to tilt the hood. And at first glance, yes, some of the components do look similar, but they're changed. There's a lot of differences. Example, I'm going to start with an EGR valve. I have one here. Here's an EGR valve. And what they've done is this has all been upgraded since the old Max Force 13. The N13 has a 30% thicker shaft in it. The screws are laser welded in it, and it's very carbon resistant. Now you have to remember, we're only producing a lot less carbon through this engine with the SCR system. And we'll highlight some things on the SCR in a second. The second area I'd like to talk about, this is our high and low temperature intercooler, or the EGR cooler. That's also been upgraded. The latest design in this is we have anti-corrosive solder joints within the cooler cores, and the bundle straps are updated for reduced vibration, that they don't vibrate through. Another area over here is the high temperature coolant, or the low temperature cooler core area. These hoses have been redirected to put extra coolant into this area because the EGR cooler runs a little cooler and it reduces any type of sooting in there. Another upgraded item is the fan assembly is now not gear driven, it is belt driven, so it's reduced vibration and the durability is immensely increased many times. Another item that's gone, we had a centrifugal filter here. We no longer need the centrifugal filter because the soot has drastically been reduced with the SCR system. Another area is the turbochargers. We use a anti-corrosive thrust bearing now within the turbochargers, which highly increases the life of the turbos. But one thing I want to remind you is, always have your customer idle the truck approximately 3 to 5 minutes before they shut the truck off. The turbo spins about 80,000 RPMs. One of the fastest component, it is the fastest component within the engine. And if you just bring the truck off the road and you turn it off, what happens is you starve the oil. The turbo could be spinning at 40,000, 30,000 RPMs, and as soon as you shut the truck off, we have no oil pressure anymore, thus starving the bearing out there. It's a hot little guy, especially on the turbine side of it or the exhaust side of it. So I'm going to take a break for a second, and I'm going to walk around to the other side and do a few more highlights about this N13 engine. Okay, I'm on the left side of the truck here, and another highlight with this engine with the SCR system is we have a new dozer assembly here. The dozer is used when you're doing the after treatment area, when we're adding a little more fuel to it. We have the new Cummins system that when it's done injecting that extra fuel, it has a little stream of air goes down and releases and clears the tip out, so it reduces carbon and fouling. But remember, with the SCR system, we have a lot less regens because we don't have all the EGR gas flowing back through there. So one other item yet is, a lot of customers might say, well, I'm afraid my driver is going to screw up putting the fluid into the DEF fluid into the diesel tank here, or vice versa. This is the DEF cap that takes the fluid, or DEF, okay? And one thing is, within this, if you take this cap off, there is an insert within the cap. I have one removed here, and today the fuel pumps are set up that this is magnetized. So if you put the nozzle in and the nozzle does not sense the magnetism, it will not release the fluid, the DEF fluid, the diesel exhaust fluid, into the tank. So example, if I tried to put the diesel exhaust fluid into the tank, it's not sensing the magnetic pickup on that. Thus keeps it from making that type of mistake or error. And one last thing I want to bring up, you can see our Diamond Renewed badge here, okay? And Diamond Renewed is a process where over 180 point checks are checked off with this truck. So it has great durability, refurbishment of a lot of areas, whether it's interior, engine, but you can look at that detailed checklist. And here's my last message. Happy trucking out there from Uncle Al, the trucker's pal, UTO training guy. Good luck out there.